All right, we are in here. Hello, everyone. This is Brian, aka Uncle B, and welcome to GoodWood University Office Hours, where I get a chance to talk and interact with you. Whatever questions you have as far as men's sexual health, erections, uh, um, premature ejaculation, all that good stuff. The stuff that makes a man a man. That's what we're here to talk about. This is GoodWood University School of Masculinity. That's what I like to call it. If you could help me out, let me know where you are representing from. Go into the chat and leave where you represent. So we can get into it. I do want to start today. Uh, let's go. Mass Attack, LA, Las Vegas in the house. Hey, appreciate you, man. Today we're going to talk about something that a lot of guys are obviously interested in for a variety of reasons. That's having your erections on demand. Really getting that. What is the cheat code? What is this cheat code we talk of? Um, for those who do not know, once again, my name is Brian, aka Uncle B, and for the last 23 years, I've been a men's performance coach with GoodWood. And out of the process of we started selling supplements years ago, and the thing that we learned is that a supplement is supposed to supplement the other things you do. So we had guys who were trying, formerly known as African Fly. The formula we have now is GoodWood, and we also now have GoodWood Advanced. The idea was that, hey, it is supposed to supplement the other things you're doing. So what are the other things you're supposed to be doing? Because you could take a supplement, lay on the couch, and drink a 40, and yeah, same problem. So what we're trying to do is give you all the tools that you need, so that if you're taking a supplement, that you're actually able to get to your goal, and that requires you to do work. And over the years, we figured out what that work is, and we've come down to what this is known as ECS 25. And before I hop into the Dunny T, it's to stand safe. If you take a high blood pressure medication, that's a good one. I want to dive into that a little bit deeper. Let me run through this really quick, give that erections on demand control, and then we'll get into your question there, sir. All right. So let's get into it. So when we talk about what is that pattern that you need to have in your life so you can get erections on demand, how do you get that level of control? We're talking about what we call around here the ECS 25 challenge. We do have the Wood on Demand challenge within Goodwood University, and basically the same thing. But what we're talking about specifically is a lifestyle. ECS 25 is a lifestyle that stands for energy, sleep, exercise, intermittent fasting, and soul. And this is just a system so you're able to keep score of what you're doing. Because what we end up doing is like, hey, what did you eat last week, Tuesday? You probably don't remember. It's like, did you exercise that day? How was your sleep? Were you stressed out? If you don't know those things add up to the reason why you can lose your erections, or to the reasons why you can be in the middle of having sex and you lose your erection. So that's the reason why we have this whole system. And when we talk about the pillars for ECS 25, when we talk about energy, then we're talking about getting the energy from all the sources. We're talking about food, water, sun, and yeah, those are the oh, I'm sorry, and air, breathing in. Those are the main areas where we get our energy from. Obviously, food being one of the biggest ones. And when it comes to sleep, we have to have that designed sleep. Right now, we're in a situation where we're just sleeping whenever. um, you know, Last night it was 12 o'clock, the night before that was 9 o'clock, the night before that it was 1 o'clock, and your sleep is off. Your testosterone builds while you sleep, your human growth hormone builds while you sleep, your body restarts itself while you're asleep. So that's really important. Um, and also, when it comes down to your exercises, what type of exercise you're doing, and your intermittent fasting, and your soul, these are the five areas that we cover. Because if we don't have this, a lot of people just believe in it. I'm just going to take a pill and that's it. And that it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And the Western diet, I mean, aging, all of these different things add up to a situation where you're not actually having control of yourself. And so, if you don't have control of yourself, you won't have control of your erections. So, that is the whole purpose of this whole system, is that it gives you the tools necessary so you can track yourself every day: energy, sleep, exercise, intermittent fasting. And so, that is what happens. So, um, So let's get back into it. So, all right. Once again, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. We have a bunch of guys in here. I know you have some questions. And what's going on, Preston? Yes, yes. Any other questions? Go ahead, line them up so we can knock them down. Always great to learn from each other. It's going to be something in here you're going to learn right now. I'm just going to tell you that. That's the way this works. All right, let's talk about Sustanch. Sustanch, is it safe if you take high blood pressure medication? So the issue, of course, is that you're taking high blood pressure medication, and so you have two different things going on at the same time. I mean, obviously, your heart is working harder, and if you're adding something like Sustanch, it can work for you. The thing you have to be careful about when we're talking about medication is that it's one thing to have high blood pressure. It's another thing to have high blood pressure and take medication because we're not sure exactly what that medication is. I am by no means a doctor. I'm not trying to play one on YouTube. So I would say be very careful. Sustanch, for me personally, works very well, but I don't have any heart health issues. So I would say play it safe. And I say this with any herbal product, whenever you're taking medication, walk into it slowly. Walk into it slowly. Then, when you're talking about medication is designed to do like one thing. It's like if you have high blood pressure, it's designed to lower your blood pressure. Does that necessarily mean it's great for other parts of your systems? No. There's people who take medication, they lose their erections. They get ED from taking medications because the medication was focused over here and not down there. So be very careful. But great question. Appreciate that. Um, I'm a type Preston says I'm a type 2 diabetes. I smoke cigarettes and weed. Haven't got hard since 2020. My man, what can I do? Sometimes I drink powdered beets. All right. Couple of things you need to do right there. First of all, we're talking about uh the cigarettes and the weed. Obviously, I think you already know this. You need to cut that out. But aside from that, of course, I don't have a full profile on you, but typically guys who have type 2 diabetes also have weight issues. Not always the case. I get that you're taking the powdered beets. That's great for your nitric oxide uptake, and that's going to help in terms of um, dilating blood vessels, letting more blood go through. But we have to talk about the taking something while continuing on with a pattern that isn't working for you is going to be problematic. I mean, let's just say that. So really what you want to do is, hey, let me go ahead and say it. Join us over here at GoodWood University. If you look down in the link below, that's where we have conversations like this more regularly. I'll have more information about you. It's not just YouTube. And so we can share, we can talk. We can talk. I need some more information. But, the powdered beets, yeah, you're increasing your nitric oxide. You should be dilating, but if you're smoking, you're constricting your blood vessels. So you're doing two things that are not in combination with each other. So basically, you're flatlining. I'm not saying in death or anything. I'm saying flatlining in terms of we talk about going to upward spiral where you're getting healthier, or you're in downward spiral. The nitric oxide is not helping you because you're staying. I would almost say you take probably smoking more than you're taking the nitric oxide. So we need to reverse that. Uh, you said stop smoking what? Yeah, you need to stop smoking everything. That's a longer conversation as far as smoking cessation, but yeah, you need to do that. Uh huh. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have to stop that smoking. We have some other people agree on that. Uh huh. The follow-up question for our substantial question: does it lower blood pressure by itself? Um, Substantial, I do not believe that it lowers blood pressure by itself. Um, that's not usually what we're looking for that to do. We're looking for substance to increase your stamina and blood flow to the penis. So it's going to help with blood flow. But uh, if you already have blood pressure issues, we're still playing that game of like you can't just take something. You also have to change. That's the big thing. Once again, that's the reason for Goodwood University is that we get you in there when you're around other guys who are looking for change, and you use the system that we talk about, the easiest 25 system, to actually get better. Uh huh. All right. That's no problem. All right. Good to hear. Good to hear. So a couple other things, once again, this is Brian, aka Uncle B. If you're just joining us, if you have questions about your sexual health, erections, why you lose erections during sex, anything like that, let me know. I've been doing this for the past 23 years. And one of the things I recognize is that, a lot of times we don't have the information. I am learning stuff constantly. I'm just now taking in different herbs. Recently, I've started drinking cacao, CACAO, unsweetened, and yeah, it's supposed to help with your stem cells. Hey, I feel very healthy, so I would recommend that also. Um, some of the other things. Mhm. Let me see. I think I had another question in here. I wanted to make sure I got to. Uh-huh. Some of the other things that you want to pay attention to is also as you're going through, as you're getting older, one of the things that people don't think about is that your nutrition actually has to change. Probably do a video specifically on that, but your nutrition has to change as you get older. And luckily for you, you probably will. Look at that. You're still breathing. Look at that. And if you're going through the process of trying to change your what you're looking at, one of the things as you get older, you actually need less food. When they were saying you're a growing boy and you eating all that food, but you were just growing up. You weren't growing out. Once you get a certain age, you start growing out, not growing up. So, that's one of the things that you really need to look at if you're getting older. Pay attention to different things. Also, food injuries. One of the things that people do not realize is that as you eat food, you need to pay attention to the effects of your body immediately, because what will happen is you will, you know, all you have to do is just watch old people go into a buffet, and you'll see that they're walking in and they feel fine, everything like that, they're taking their steps, and after that they come out of that buffet and they have issues. They're not walking the same, things like that. That's because there was inflammation in the food that they ate. So you have to pay attention to the food that you eat. That's one of the things that, especially when you're talking about erections on demand, if you're in a situation where you have no, you you thought everything was great. You thought your erections would be fine. On our sexual performance scale, you probably had a 6 or a 7. It's like, sometimes it works, sometimes it's not, but usually I'm good. And then you're not good. Pay attention to the last thing that you ate. That is by far one of the hugest contributors to not being able to have erections or losing erections. I mean, obviously, we talk about sleep and all the other kind of stuff. All those things play a factor. But I mean, think of it this way: you're a chemical bag, and what you eat are basically chemicals, and your body's breaking those chemicals down. If you're eating something that causes inflammation, so that not only your hands, you can feel it in your hands, you can feel it in your knees, after you sat down and ate some crap food. It's like, well, yeah, well, you may not feel it in your erections because you're not, it's no bones down there, but you will feel it when it's time to get an erection and you don't have it. One of the reasons why erections on demand are not in your favor. So, what are the things that you have to be careful of eating? It's very simple. There's only two food groups. That's it, fellas. Just two food groups, and those food groups are share the links. Okay, gotcha, man. Those two food groups are live food and dead food. Yeah, it's that simple. It is that simple. When we talk about live food, we're talking about food that comes basically from the sun. We're talking about food that has, apples, fruit, vegetables, herbs, which are basically fruits, vegetable, herbs, parts of the trees and plants. That's where all the energy comes from. I am not saying, I'm not a chicken hugger. I'm not, people want to eat their meats, but I'm saying if you have erection issues, you shouldn't be eating more meat. That's going to cause even more problems. Hmm. Ah, wow. Oh, wow. Pause, pause, pause. Gotta give a shout out right real quick. Mr. Mass Attack. Oh, okay. It says, let me go ahead and put that up there for you guys. Um, you interviewed me 4 to 6 weeks ago. Put on YouTube. I've been exercising, eating better, intermittent fasting, at 8 hours of sleep, etc. D Wood, and man, I gotta tell you, it's been a big help. Yes, thank you for saying that, man. Thank you. It's not just me. It's not just me, guys. This stuff works. It works. Everything that I'm saying, it's not anything spectacular, the different than what your mama said. Actually, your mama's the easiest 25. Your mama said the first three things: energy, uh, eat your fruits and vegetables, sleep, go sleep on time, exercise, go outside and play. The other thing, two things, intermittent fasting and soul, that you didn't need that as a kid. Uh-huh. All right. But thanks for that. I appreciate that. Carl, he says, I'm 34 and healthy. I needed to get to a 10. Now I'm a 5. Uh-huh. Well, let me go ahead and say this, Carl. If you're trying to get to, you can say I'm a 6. I'm sorry. If you're trying to get to that 10, yeah, definitely join us over at Goodwood University, because that is a somewhat difficult. Let me just say difficult feat. You have to walk there. It's not like something you can shortcut. I'm gonna do this in a month. Believe me, I was at a 5 and I'm at a 9. What I call a 10, my level of 10 is slightly different. My level of 10 is like, hey, I need to have uh, um, below 15% body fat, and I'm just a big dude, so that's a little bit of a struggle for me. But keep doing that. And also back here, Mr. Mass Attack. I'm now taking Goodwood, and man, there's a big difference, huge help. Yes, yes. For those guys who do not know, that's how I started this whole journey in terms of becoming a men's sexual performance coach. Is we started selling supplements. Started with African Fly, now known as Goodwood. And what happened was, we just needed more information. Getting more information, recognizing that your body changes with age. All this leads up to your, in terms of your erections, uh, being under your control. Uh, I just got here. Eating more meat or not? Nature, music, and scene. Hey, what's going on with you, sir? So that'll be a not. uh, Eating more meat. I know there's a whole mythology around eating meat. You can look at different movies like the Changemakers. What the health? There are different movies out there. We basically talked about what happens when you eat meat. Once again, I'm not telling people to not eat meat at all. I get it; it's part of our culture, but cutting back on meat, it has a huge benefit for you, because basically we're eating too much. That's the main thing. If you just look back in before the 1950s, it was literally impossible to eat meat at every meal, and now we eat several pieces of meat at every meal. I remember when I was going through my go through. I would have 3 eggs in the morning with some type of meat. Then I would have, some type of chicken sandwich, and then for lunch maybe shrimp fried rice and 4 wings. And what did that equal up to? I was basically eating a good 10 animals a day. Yeah. I was eating 10 animals a day. What did I eat? End up, I was eating between 200 to 300 animals in a month. And is that good for your erection? Absolutely not. It is not good for your erections. So let me see. There was a question about sharing the links. Let me go ahead and make sure I get this information to you. By the way, if you would like to try out Goodwood or Goodwood Advanced for the older guys, you can go to givegoodwood.com. We have a coupon code of GW15 for 15% off of that. Highly recommend you give that a try. And if you look in the down below, we do have the link for Goodwood University. Please join us there. I think that's the most important thing that you could do in your journey in terms of trying to get better. You need to have what we're putting together, and this is new. Bear with us as we're pulling all of this information together. We're trying to pull as much information as possible together so that you can have access to it. You can go in, find out what supplements you need, what food. We have meal plans. We have talking about every area of, in terms of stress. We talk about premature ejaculation. We're having different guests come through. We're trying to make this a big deal, because it is a big deal. Because we have uh you know mhm. I was going to say, okay, all right, got you there. But yeah, what I'm saying, that it's really important to get the help on time. I've talked to guys who've not had erections for 20 years and things like that, and nah, that's not the life that you want to have. um And even when we're talking about Mr. Preston there, no matter I've never talked to a guy who was like, you know what, I'm pretty good not having an erection for a period of time. Not once has that been said. So if you're just hopping on, please go ahead and hop into the comment section and leave a question. We have a bunch of guys on here, and I know you're here because you have a question. So let's go ahead and get that asked. Um, I've been doing this for a while. I have a lot to say. And just to make sure, everything is working out well for you. Let me do one thing right quick. Mhm. All right. And one thing I just wanted to talk to you guys about is your personal goals. When it comes to what we do over at Goodwood University, and the challenge is really about your personal goals. So you're customizing the ECS 25 to fit you in terms of your life. So the program is flexible. It allows you to go in and say, "Hey, you know what? My goal is to actually be want to make sure that you're getting all the information that you could possibly have so that you can create the right goals for you. I mean, getting to erections on demand takes understanding what your goals are. So for example, when I weighed 285 pounds. Part of my goal was to get down to 225 pounds. Then I've reached that and like, okay, let me go ahead and further down, get down to below 15% body fat. And all of this is understanding information, that I've gathered from different places. The one regret, I mean, let me not say regret because everyone's life is a journey. The one thing that I wish I knew was all the stuff I know now. That's the reason why I'm trying to give as much information as possible to you guys so that, you don't have to go through the 7 years trial that I did. And I know you guys have your own trials to go through and you're trying to get things figured out. That's the reason why, the two biggest things is getting the information and being around other people who are, dedicated to implementing. It's not just talk over here. We're trying to get stuff done. One of our core tenets is accomplishments. And so we want to make sure that if you take on a challenge, you come into Goodwood University, that you reach your goal, so that you have erections on demand, spontaneous erections, morning erections. I mean, the thing to understand, and please hit me up if you have questions because we're going to be closing out soon. But the thing to understand is that this is a whole life journey. This does not stop. I used to be in that mode of like, okay, especially trying to lose weight. It's like I'm gonna lose weight a whole bunch of weight real quick, and then I'll be back to doing what I was doing before. And of course, that didn't work because yeah, it's like I ended up going back to doing what I was doing before, and you don't want to do that. You want to stay consistent with what you do. So yeah, let me know if you have any other questions. Once again, you can go to givegoodwood.com and order Goodwood or Goodwood Advanced, and you can also go to join us at Goodwood University with the link down below. So there we go. Doesn't look like we have any other questions. It's always funny to me. I want to hold on because people type in questions right. It's always right after I log off, another question pops up. So, but yeah, I think that'll do it for today. Thanks to everybody for hopping on, Master Tech. Hey, really do appreciate you. Mr. Preston, Dunny T, Mo Savage, Savage in the Mo. Hey, I appreciate all of you and your questions. And yes, once again, I will be back next Tuesday, and I knew a question is going to come back. I will be back on Tuesday. I may come on Monday. Monday's a holiday, but yeah, every day at 1. And if you want to get in with have live questions, less public, join us at Goodwood University. All right. So does taking magnesium help with Goodwood? Yes. Yes, it does. I mean, it's a magnesium. It's a mineral. It's a vitamin mineral. Mineral. But anyway, point is like taking it is helpful. The question is what form you're taking it. My preference is always getting whatever you need from a plant-based source. If you can't get it from there, then taking magnesium will help. The question is, what else are you doing? That's always the question. What else are you doing? So if you're taking magnesium and you still, we understand you're on the right path there, sir. So magnesium will help. Just don't substitute it for the activities that you need to do. It is still a supplement. Got to supplement to other things. So cool, cool, cool. So there we go. We're coming down to time. Hey, once again, I appreciate every one of you. Join us over at Goodwood University. Go ahead and grab your bottles of Goodwood and Goodwood Advance. And I will see you. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and do it on Monday. I will see you 1 o'clock Monday. Let's talk. All right, guys, get your game up and go hard. Peace out.